Once upon a time in a certain village in Nigeria called Ibik, there lived a boy called Ebuka. Ebuka, a bright-eyed 15-year-old, stood at the edge of his village with a small, worn-out bag slung over his shoulder. His mother, her eyes glistening with tears, embraced him tightly. "Ebuka, my son, be strong," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "Serve your Oga well, O Noam, and your future will be bright. Remember, we are counting on you." "I will, Mama," Ebuka replied, his voice steady despite the lump in his throat. "I promise I won't let you down." With a final hug, Ebuka set off on the journey to Onitsha, his heart brimming with hope. He was to serve under Oga Chinedu, a prosperous businessman, with the promise of learning a trade and being settled after a few years of service. Years rolled by, and Ebuka worked tirelessly under Oga Chinedu. The initial promise of a brighter future kept him going through the harsh treatment and grueling hours. "Ebuka, these goods need to be delivered by tomorrow morning." "No excuses," Oga Chinedu barked one evening. "Yes, Oga," Ebuka responded, bowing his head. "I will make sure it is done." Despite his unwavering dedication, the years stretched from 5 to 8 years. The promise of settlement remained just that, a promise. After he has completed his 8 years apprenticeship, with an added 2 years awaiting his settlement as promised. Despite all efforts and hard work, Oga Chinedu, being inhuman and barbaric, kept procrastinating it to his own favor. Other NWABOIs that started same time with Ebuka has been long settled by their Ogas and doing well individually and independently, but Ebuka's case was different. Yet, Ebuka's hope, though faint, never extinguished. One fateful day, Oga Chinedu sat in his opulent office, dressed in a crisp white agbada adorned with gold embroidery. The air was thick with the scent of expensive cologne, and his gold wristwatch glinted in the afternoon sun. He summoned Ebuka to his office. "Ebuka, I need you to take this 6 million naira to the bank and deposit it. It's a crucial task, and I trust you to handle it." "Yes, Oga," Ebuka said, his heart racing with a mixture of fear and hope. He quickly took the money and headed towards the bank, his mind filled with dreams of finally being settled. While his Oga leaned back in his leather chair, a sly smile playing on his lips as he picked up his phone and dialed a number. The phone rang twice before a gruff voice answered. "Hello." "Yes, it's Chinedu," Oga Chinedu said, his tone low and conspiratorial. "I have a job for you." "What's the job?" the voice on the other end asked. "I need you to intercept my boy, Ebuka. He's on his way to the bank with 6 million naira. I want you to take the money from him," Oga Chinedu instructed, his eyes narrowing. The voice paused. "And the boy? What do we do with him?" Oga Chinedu's expression hardened. "Don't harm him. Just scare him enough to make him hand over the money. Threaten him, but under no circumstances should you kill him. I want him to believe it was a real robbery." "Understood, boss," the voice replied. "When is he leaving?" "He's leaving in about an hour," Oga Chinedu said, glancing at his gold wristwatch. "Make sure everything goes smoothly. I don't want any mistakes." "Consider it done," the voice assured him before the line went dead. Oga Chinedu leaned back further in his chair, a satisfied smirk on his face. He adjusted his agbada, the fabric rustling softly, and muttered to himself. "Poor Ebuka. He'll never see it coming." He placed his phone back on the desk, stippling his fingers as he imagined the scene. As he neared the bank, masked men suddenly appeared from the shadows with weapons and guns. "Give us the money, or we'll kill you," one of them snarled. Ebuka, terrified and helpless, handing over the money to the masked men. It was a perfect plan, one that would rid him of his loyal servant without the need for settlement. The robbers vanished as quickly as they had appeared, leaving him standing there, stunned and heartbroken. Returning to his ogre, Ebuka felt a sinking dread, unknowingly to him it was all a conspiracy against him. "Ogre, I was robbed. They took all the money," he said, his voice trembling. Ogre Chinedu's face twisted with anger. "Robbed? How could you be so careless, Ebuka? You think I'm a fool? You stole the money yourself." "No, Ogre, I swear I didn't. I would never do that," Ebuka pleaded, his eyes wide with desperation. But Ogre Chinedu was unmoved. "Get out of my sight, Ebuka, never you come back. And don't expect any settlement from me after this." "But, I," he stammered. "I said you should leave my sight and never come back again," Ogre Chinedu thundered. Shattered, Ebuka wandered the streets of Onitsha, his world in ruins. The betrayal of his ogre, the loss of the money, and the accusations of theft weighed heavily on him. In his darkest moments, he thought of ending his life, but the memory of his mother and the promise he made to her kept him from taking that final step. Days later, as he roamed aimlessly, he overheard whispers from other traders. "Did you hear? Ogre Chinedu was behind the robbery. He sent those men to take the money back." "Chai poor Ebuka," another trader said. "He never stood a chance. Imagine after 10 years, God abeg oh," he added. With a heavy heart, Ebuka returned to his village, empty-handed and broken. His mother greeted him with open arms, tears streaming down her face. "Ebuka, my son, what happened?" "Mama, I was betrayed. I have nothing left," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. His mother held him tighter. "We will find a way, my son. We always do." And so, Ebuka began his life anew, determined to rise above the betrayal and hardship he had endured. Though his spirit was wounded, it remained unbroken, and he resolved to forge a new path, one step at a time. Now Ebuka is back to the village, same village he left at 15 to hustle and make his parents proud. At 25 years old is back struggling with a fresh start after giving someone 10 years of his life, yet nothing to show for it. This is how wicked and cruel the heart of man can be. Now if he revenges by taking his ogre's life, the law will judge him and convict him for murder. But Ebuka never did. One day as Ebuka was walking along the bush path, he overheard some men discussing on how to assassinate one Chief Paul on his arrival from China to Nigeria. Chief Paul, who is a business tycoon in China, he ships goods like electronics from China to Nigeria. Quickly Ebuka ran to his mother and told her everything and asked if she knows him or his family members, and she shouted and said, "Yes. I know him and his family," and immediately they ran to the house and informed them about what is about to happen. They informed the police about the situation and put a call across to Paul to inform him about the plans. On the day of his arrival, the security man was on ground and the assassinators were caught and persecuted. They told Chief Paul about the arrangement, and who brought the information. He quickly sent for Ebuka. Ebuka narrated his story to Chief Paul and he was touched, and asked Ebuka if he can manage his business in China for. Surprisingly, Ebuka knelt down with tears in his eyes and held him on his trousers and was appreciating him. That was how Ebuka was blessed by Chief Paul and became established all over Nigeria and had a brand of his own.